First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all Yakim on high and by his bidding to the marriage. I want to start off by reading this article. Capitol riots, pen of Americans, shocked and disgusted. So I want to get into how these other nations view America right now as this country gets worse and worse. Last year was a review. Basically, it was Black Lives Matter. Now you got Donald Trump supporters getting mad. There's going to be a sedition among men. They're going to be invading one another, like the scripture says. They're not going to regard their princes nor their kings. As you see. But I'm going to go down. The storm of the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. stunned viewers around the world. But how did Americans feel seeing the seat of their government being ransacked? We asked members of our BBC voter panel for their views. Simon grew up in Uganda during its civil war and became a U.S. citizen last year. Man, this is the worst decision you could ever make. This racist country, man. You can hardly get a job if you're a person of melanin. A master student and stay-at-home father, he warns that while things may settle down, the market is not guaranteed. I am disgusted but not surprised. I anticipated this would happen. It was a matter of when, not if. I didn't anticipate that it would happen in the Capitol. This is the president whose people since the racial justice movement in the summer said they were for law and order. So the law and order to people broke into the Capitol and changed the American flag with the Trump flag. History shows that has not happened over 200 years, so it tells you how dangerous this man is. Uganda in November, when the opposition with the rest of people took the streets and got shot. Here in the summer, Capitol building was protected and they were breaking up peaceful protests. In Uganda in November, when the opposition was arrested, people took to the streets and got shot. Here in the summer, the Capitol building was protected and they were breaking up peaceful protests. If it's clear that Trump supporters have been organizing, and we've seen this was going to happen, yet we subconsciously did not think that white people are a threat. That is the construct of a country and how laws enforcement viewed. Look at the curses falling upon Esau. What did he call them? Treason, traitors, and thugs. And then you hear the I'm gonna play the video actually.
What happened here today? An armed insurrection against the seat of government of the most powerful country on earth. An assault on our democracy.
Esau still has that pride, the most powerful country. Esau's still living with the delusion, with $1 trillion in debt. I just had to say that. That's Esau still up to his. No, he's not the powerful, country in the world. Just had to say that.
An attempted violent overthrow in our nation's own Capitol building.
Today there was treason in this house. Today there was traitors in this house.
One of the darkest days in recent American history.
We will not be kept out of this chamber by thugs, mobs.
These were rioters and insurrectionists, goons and thugs, domestic terrorists.
Nobody has a right to become a mob.
A mob riot.
Mob rule.
Mob rule.
So you look at the curses. The scriptures tell us that in Job that what you call that scripture? They shall all the wickedness. I don't know the verse exactly, but all the hands of the wicked shall be upon. Oh, I'm trying to get it. Forgot what it was. This is the one. Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be enstretched. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So, like, I was gonna get slowly. You see that all these curses are falling upon Esau. Remember when Jake used to be called thugs, right? And mobs and gangsters. Then, you know, now you got that flipping on Esau, even though it's just an agenda, right? But that's still showing you that Esau's coming out of power. You know, all them curses that was on us. You know, you got Edomites fighting each other now in stores. Some supporting Trump, some aren't. Some are standing with Jake. You know. Now you got this. They're calling them thugs. You know, that's that's falling upon Esau. You know, the curses are coming upon them now. You know, Jake used to fight each other, and well, we still do. You know, Jake's. I mean, not we, but you know, Jake out. You know, Jake still do out there. But you know, look at this: treason, traitors, and thugs. You know what that used to be called? That used to have been only for Jake. You know, nothing. We're good. You know, we're thugs. We're this. We're gangster. Now you got that falling upon Esau. You know.
Rule with armed rioters.
Rioters and thugs. A group of lawless thugs.
Domestic terrorists.
What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States.
This mob was in good part President Trump's doing.
The president should never have spun up certain Americans to believe something that simply cannot be.
We saw bloodshed because the demagogue chose to spread falsehoods and sow distrust of his own fellow Americans.
The President of the United States incited an armed insurrection against America. In calling for this seditious act, the President has committed an unspeakable assault on our nation and our people.
So you got that. So Esau's finished, man. The thugs, the terrorists. You know, they used to call, you know, they used to call Ishmael a terrorist every time you see Ishmael on the plane. You know, they used to call us thugs. Now look at it. It's flipping on Esau now. Now Esau lives. Now you got homeless Edomites. Esau fighting against each other. Got Edomites called thugs now. You know, that's scripture. That's Esau coming out of power. You know, how thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. You know, Esau's panicking, so he's going to the Capitol building, he's going to the White House, going to the Supreme Court or whatever to break, because he got no power. He can't change anything that's happening because it's the Lord doing this. You know. What was I gonna get? For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Not that one. Forgot what I was about to get. Forgot what was it called. The scripture I was about to get. I think it was 2nd Ezra. What was it? Alright. Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men. You know? Wait, let me get that definition of sedition. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against authority of state or monarch. Basically, that's what Donald Trump did. Hold on. That's all? Alright. Agitation, provoke. Yes, that is exactly what happened. That's no, not this, not this. That's exact. Oh, I'm trying to read. That's what Donald Trump did. There shall be sedition among men, invading one another. Right, right. Isn't that what they did? They invaded the Capitol. Didn't Donald Trump incite a riot? Sedition. It basically just told you he instigated a crowd of people, and guess what happened? They invaded one another. You know, that's scripture. That's prophecy coming to pass. They should not regard the kings nor princes. They're flipping over tables. You know, taking they took stuff out of the Capitol building and sold it on eBay. I seen pictures. They shall not regard their king nor prince. They're not listening to Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump is the one that told them, so I mean, he's on their side. But he's not. They're not listening to the police. The police and the military. They're not listening to the Democrats, the politicians. They're not listening to them. I just looked up the word sedition. That is Donald Trump. The among men is his Donald Trump supporters. It just fits so well. But they're gonna also be invading one another when the food gets low too. So the scripture goes hand in hand with that also. When the foods get slow, people and get scared, people are gonna start killing each other. But this first fits so perfectly on what happened on Wednesday. They shall not regard their king nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're not gonna listen. You got Esau. Man, Esau, he's out of here, man. He's out of power. Esau, he's out the power seat. He's getting kicked out. Kind of like if you ever, you got somebody too drunk in a club and the bodyguard just throws them out. They gotta leave and all this. That's Esau. Esau's. You've been drink. You've been wild. You've been wilding out for too long, man. It's time for you to leave, man. You've been having too much, it's time for you to go. You have too much, because Esau, it's time for you to leave. Or if you watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when Will got thrown out the house, right, by Uncle Phil, so that's basically Esau. He's getting thrown out. Thrown out of power. And the other nation look at as America look at this. You got other countries don't even know what to say anymore. Look at this. Putin silent on Washington unrest as Washington Foreign Ministry calls you electoral system. He's probably thinking right now to himself. He's probably thinking he doesn't know what to say to that. He doesn't. He's just staying quiet. Look at this. Got fire? He's holding fire. I don't know what he's a rampaging mob of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol. I'm gonna go down. A rampaging mob of Trump supporters on Wednesday stormed a session of Congress being held to certify Joe Biden's election when triggering violence and accusations. The president was attempting a coup. The events in Washington show that the U.S. electoral process is archaic, does not meet modern standards, and is prone to violation. The state-run RIA Novosti news agency quoted Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria as saying, "We wish that the friendly American people survive this dramatic moment in their own history with dignity." Other world leaders expressed shock and outrage at the events, with French President Emmanuel Macron saying, "What happened today in Washington is not American." The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson condemned the disgraceful scenes. Look at this. People look at this country like it's a zoo, a circus. You got people are buying up toilet paper, by the thousands, over food and water, buying toilet paper. Now you got this. People were looting. Jake was looting stores last year. People were buying up toilet paper. People are beating each other up because they wouldn't wear a mask in a store. Esau, Donald, and these Edomites now are storming the Capitol. This whole country, then it's over. It's finished. All right. Esau You know, there's nothing to say. The so-called white man is losing power, and he knows it. You know, that's why he's gonna come down having great wrath and take his anger out on Jake. You know, for some reason, Esau is gonna find a way to blame Jake for everything that's happening. That doesn't even make any sense. You know, but Esau's gonna find a way to do it. You know, Esau always finds a way to blame Jake on something, because he's accused of thy brethren. Here are the reactions from other Russian public figures and politicians and in the country's media. The leader of Russia's Communist Party, Gennady, said in a statement, the boomerang came back to them. It was them that launched color revolution in 50 years. They carried out 3 dozen, if not more. They toppled the leaders in North Africa and Yugoslavia and ousted a normal government in Ukraine. They had a goal at Belarus last year. Well, now they are paying for it. Wait. So basically, they're saying that they topple leaders. People are waking up to America's wickedness, and now look, it's coming right back to Esau. You know, Esau been doing wickedly throughout the world. You know, toppling leaders. You know, forcing democracy on them. Now looks what happened. You know, if you look at these other countries right now, they look like America. Why? Because America overthrew them. You know, now it's coming back to them. Putinists are at the chaos in the United States, and our President Putin's stability. Of course, there are problems there, many. But in the USA, there is still an average monthly salary of about $306,000. In the Russian Federation, according to official statistics, the average salary is about 4,000, or more likely 30,000 rubles. YouTube channel than ours called the storm a pogrom on the U.S. Capitol. What does that mean? Let me see. What the? Oh, basically, this means riot. The 2 Russian senators, including Alexei, the head of the Committee for Information Policy, shared conspiracy theories voiced by Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz, allegedly involvement with a far-left anti-fascist group known as Antifa in its disturbances. So you got basically people everybody around the world, and I notice in America is just one big. It's like a story, right? It's like a play, actually. Yeah, it's a play. You know, people are choosing sides, starting riots, paying the left. People are paying the left, right. You know, Trump supporters to be there. You know, so everybody, the whole world is looking at America. You know, and everybody's figuring, you know. Everybody's seeing its true wickedness. The unrest on Capitol Hill that interrupted the official affirmation of the electoral votes in Congress certainly cast a shadow on the entire process of the democratic transfer of power. As we can see, the boomerang of color revolutions in post-Soviet countries is coming back to the U.S. All this threatens to turn into a crisis of American system of power in the new century. Russia's foreign ministry spokeswoman Maria simply shared former CNN Moscow chief Jill tweet arguing that the U.S. will never again be able to tell the world that we are a paragon of democracy. So look at that, all them lies Esau spews about democracy and freedom when there's nothing in this country that has anything to do with that. American democracy is obviously limping on both legs. The holiday of democracy is over. This is sadly a new low. I say this without a shadow of malice. America is no longer plotting a court and has thus lost all rights to set one, let alone impose it on others. Be strong, Donald. We're with you. The world will help you. So basically, now you got other countries looking at America like it's nothing. You know, America is just one joke. You know, no one's taking this country serious, right? You got them storming Cal because of Trump lost. You know how immature do you gotta be because you didn't get your way, so you're gonna throw a big tantrum, right? And start screaming. You know, that's Esau. You know, it goes back to the scriptures. He stopped carefully with tears. He's emotional. Esau is an emotional being. You know, if Esau, the only way he solves his problem is with the sword. You know, if he doesn't get his way, there's no way. He's like a toddler. That's Esau. He's a toddler in a power seat. Power tripping, you call it. You know, that's basically what these police officers are. And these peons that aren't police officers are just the same. Now you got these countries, you know, looking at America, is probably thinking, why did I deal with this country? Why did we even do, you know? And you got not only that, but you got these other countries that got overthrown who had no choice but to drink out that cup. Because why? They could have, you know, their people were gonna get killed, right? You know, so they had no choice but to accept democracy in their land, you know? So it's like, man, it's a lose-lose. Revelation 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. You know, like they named a couple of countries, Ukraine, right, North Africa. You know, they were threatened. You know, because like in the article I was just reading, they said America overthrew these leaders like 50 years ago or something. Now look, it's a boomerang come right back at them. So like, even if they didn't accept it, it was forced upon them, but they still drunk of that wine. You know, whether they drunk of it because they chose to, or if they were forced, it was still drinking of the philosophy of this country, and now they gotta suffer for it. You know, whether they wanted to or not, you still did it. You know, with her and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance for delicacies. But like I want to read that again. For all nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Wait, I don't think this is the right one. Yeah, it's in Revelation. It is. Right. No, Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. You know, the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. You know, so the other countries are mad because it looks bad on them too, because they dealt with this country for so long and sitting there like, yeah, man, that's my friend over there. Like, look at him. Like they're embarrassing you. You know, it looks, you know, probably you hanging. Let's say you're talking, you're in this professional business or whatever, and then you got your friend doing something. It just stands out because you know it's Esau. You know, this country Babylon. You know, so you gotta endure. You know, you gotta deal with it. It's philosophy. America's has no order. You know, you're dealing with a country that has no order, and it's embarrassing because you dealt with this country. They're in disarray. That means it looks like you're in disarray. You know, now you got other countries probably don't want to do dealings with you, right? Because all what America does, you know, you know, probably someone in the UN Council talking about, yeah, I don't think we should help. I don't think we should do deals with France or Germany because they were dealing with America for so long. You know, look at America. You know, so there's gonna be a lot of that happening probably. You know, who wants to deal with a country that doesn't got their stuff together? You know, you got citizens going through buildings, right? They should be armed, heavily armed, but somehow you just go through them, stroll right through without killing anybody. I heard only 4 people died. 4 people. They didn't even gotta do anything. They just let them in, basically. You know. I heard the police let them in too. So it's basically, yeah, this is all staged. You know. Implement martial law in this country. You know. But you still got some countries who still hate this nation. going back into what I said, therefore the nations are mad. They're going to cup in the Lord's hand. North Korea, Kim called U.S. our biggest enemy and challenge to Biden. Right. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un called for more advanced nuclear weapons and said the United States is our biggest enemy. State media said on Saturday, presenting a stark challenge to President-elect Joe Biden just days before he takes office. Washington's hostile policy would not change regardless of who occupies the White House, but dropping those policies would be key to North Korea-U.S. relations, Kim said, according to the state news agency. Our foreign political activities should be focused and redirected on subduing the U.S., our biggest enemy and main obstacle to our innovative development, Kim said during 9 hours of remarks over several days at a rare party in Congress in Pyongyang. No matter who's in power in the U.S., the true nature of the U.S. and its fundamental policy towards North Korea never changed, Kim said, vowing to expand ties with anti-imperialist and independent forces. So you got no matter who's the president, they still wouldn't give North Korea the go ahead to have their own nuclear weapon capabilities. They still got them I think sanctioned, right? North Korea would not misuse its nuclear weapon, Kim said, but the country has expanded its nuclear arsenal, including primitive and retaliatory strike capabilities and warheads of varying sizes. Kim called for developing equipment including hypersonic weapons, solid fuel intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, spy satellites, and drones. Is preparing for the. So you got Esau. You know what Esau is doing? You know why? Esau is pinning all sanctions on Iran, this country, Syria. What other countries got? Venezuela. Esau doing all these sanctions. I think they got a sanction on Russia too, but I don't know about that. But they're trying to have sanctions on a lot of these countries because they're trying to stop profits from happening for 1 hour. So great riches come to naught. So basically they're trying to defeat the prophecy. They're trying to stop the Lord's prophecy coming to pass, but they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna stop the Lord's prophecy coming to pass. That's what Esau. That's why Esau keep sanctioning these countries. He said he's trying to make ICBMs. Let me see the power of ICBM, anyways. I want to see the explosion, like a picture of it blowing up on something. So I see how. So basically they have, the thing that they created. If you ever heard of when Japan got bombed by America, right? In Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was an atomic bomb, but they're saying that they applied the same amount of the more power from the the atomic bomb to the nuclear ICBM missiles. Basically, more firepower. So yeah, the explosion gonna be way bigger, you know. So yeah, I just wanted, but I wish I had a picture on what it would look like if it touched ground, you know, after it got shot off into the air. So that's what I wanted to look for, but I couldn't find it. Kim pretty much showed what's on his mind. Submarine missiles, better ICBM beams, and other advanced arms. Said okay, you know, professor of North Korean studies at Korea University in Seoul. He is saying that's basically what Washington will see going forward, which could escalate tensions or open doors for talks. You know, because Esau's scared. You know, Esau's scared. He's been doing this. He's been disrespecting, oppressing nations for so long. You know, so now he wants to start sanctioning people like a coward. You know. No, why don't you not sanction them and see what they'll do with their power? Because he's only able to fight when it's unfair. You know, Esau fights other nations when he can sanction them and bully them. Esau only fights Jake when he poisons our food and water to weaken our immune systems or vaccinations. So, but he can't fight. He's a cheater. Esau cheats in everything. Sanctions. You know, tampering with food, you know, so it's like you gotta go down to the genetics of food. Stop a nation of people because you can't fight. That's basically what they did to Jake. Because you can't beat us, so you gotta go do some genetic splicing in our food just to make us weaker. Find the most strongest poison vaccines, like. You know how pathetic you gotta be to do something like that. You're so desperate to have a win that you'll do anything for it, cause you know you can't win naturally. It's sad. You're a pathetic loser. You know that's what Esau is. He's pathetic. You know he's a coward too. Sanction other countries because he can't fight. You know all these smaller nations you kept picking on, right? Now they're rising up against you. No one's afraid of Esau now. Now everybody got the nuclear capabilities. Back when the atom bomb was made, right, the atomic bomb, everybody was afraid of America. Now it's like everybody has it, so it's like, what are you gonna do now? And everybody hates America, so it's like, yeah, it's not going so well for you. And Kim's remarks were one of the most ambitious outlines of North Korean national defense in nuclear matters. And sometime, said Ankit Panda, a senior fellow at the U.S.-based Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, it could presage a return to nuclear testing, which is now on the table, given that Kim renounced his April 2018 moratorium, he said. Alright. I want to get this. Biden, who was a vice president under President Barack Obama, called Kim a thug during the election campaign. In 2019, North Korea called Biden a rabid dog that needed to be beaten to death with a stick. So basically, man. But Kim had 3 unprecedented meetings with Donald Trump and 2 corresponding in a series of letters, but those efforts failed to lead to a denuclearization deal or an official change in country relations. North Korea is declaring the window for cooperation much, much smaller for the Biden administration, Yo said. So basically, they're tired of talking. You know, I listened to this song. You know, he's talking about I'm tired of talking. You know, and no one, you know, it's gonna get to the point where being verbal, being diplomatic, is not gonna work anymore because you already got Biden. They don't like it. Biden called him a thug, and North Korea called him a rabid dog. So it's like in 2019, and now Biden is president. North Korea already don't like America, and Biden hates even more. So it's like people are tired of talking, man. It's gonna get serious real soon. Once Biden's in office for a couple of months, watch. Biden said in October that he would meet Kim only on the condition that North Korea agreed to draw down its nuclear capacity. Last month, look at that. Biden said so. They don't want North Korea to have nuclear power. You know, Esau trying to stop prophecy from happening. It's not gonna happen. You know, Scripture is gonna come to pass. Whether they shoot the missiles or not, the Lord's still gonna let them shoot them off anyways. You know, so in their heart they can say, I don't want to do it. It doesn't matter. The Lord could just snap his finger and boom. You know, the silos open up, the missiles get shot off anyway, and they aim at America. It's still gonna happen, whether they want to do it or not. It doesn't matter. You might as well just do it. You know. And so it doesn't matter if if anybody's pressing a button, because the Lord will just press it. You know. You might as well just go with it. You know. So you Esau just stopping the inevitable. You know. The Lord can also America got nuclear missiles himself. The Lord can just shoot them up in the air, point back down at America just to blow up on America. So it's like, just Esau he really thinks he can defeat the Lord and prophet and prophet like in script. He thinks he can stop the scripts from happening, from the Lord from doing what he wants to do. It's not your story, Esau. You're not the writer. You know, who are you to tell the writer how he wants the story to be, how you want the story? You know, imagine that. The guy, you're an actor and you tell the director, I don't like this, and then let me show you how I want it. And you're the villain. Like what? So it's ridiculous. You never heard of something like that. Let me tell you how I want the story to end. Like, Esau, man, you need to get off your high horse, man. Esau delusional. Last month, Kurt Campbell, the top U.S. diplomat for East Asia under Obama, considered a contender for top Asia's policy position under Biden, said that the incoming U.S. administration would have to make an early decision on what approach it will take with North Korea and not repeat the delay of Obama era. Alright. So you got a lot of countries not listening to this nonsense, No one listening to America. They still have nuclear arms after sanctions. I'm gonna get this now. What the? Iran's Khamenei banned import of U.S. and U.K. coronavirus vaccines. See, no one trusts America, right? North Korea is already they don't gotta say anything on the headline. They just know they're not getting it, Iran's supreme leader said Friday that he had banned the import of U.S. British-made coronavirus vaccines, a surprising move that contradicts his own government's recent efforts to ensure the country's access to safe and effective immunizations. Has political and religious authority made the announcement televised, calling the vaccines forbidden? Oh, that was it? There's more to it, but yeah, you got these countries not trusting America. You got Iran talking about retaliation. Let me find it. See, look at this. Some people are plotting right now. Yeah, I'm getting this. I'm gonna read this. U.S. foes like China, Iran see opportunity in the chaos of Trump-stoked riot at Capitol. This is an absolute gift for authoritarian leaders whose prime narrative that democratic systems are weak and unstable, said researcher Matthew Harries. See, they are weak, because if you give somebody free privilege to do whatever they want, they're gonna do this nonsense. Which is why some countries like China, there's a death penalty in China and Russia for a reason, because and Iran, just to show that their way is better than the democracy, So there's a law, there's a limit on what you could do. That's what the scriptures are for, to give us a limit on what we can do. Because if we were able to do whatever we want, it would just be, man, we all been different. The Lord ain't with that. The Lord is about order. Democracy, there is no order. freedom of speech. Like, what kind of sense does that make? Say whatever you want to say, and this is what you're gonna get: a bunch of emotional Edomites who can't stop crying about who lost and the president. Like, grow up. For American adversaries, there was no greater proof of fallibility of Russian democracy than the sight of the U.S. Capitol shrouded in smoke and besieged by a mob whipped up by their unwilling, outgoing president. Already, China, Iran, and Russia have pointed to the tumult in Washington as evidence that the much vaunted U.S. system of government is fundamentally flawed and riddled with hypocrisy. Across Europe, there is a grave concern, too, not just at the division and stability rocking their powerful transatlantic ally, but also at what it means for their relationship with Washington after President-elect Joe Biden is inaugurated in 2 weeks. Many question how the U.S. can ever again lecture other countries about democratic values, or how it can tell other countries that they aren't eternally stable enough to have nuclear weapons. See, exactly, you can't tell them that when you can't even control your own citizen. Look at this. Look at Esau. They're called protesters. Yeah, no, they're not. Is that Jake? Is that Jake in the corner right there? On the right side? I can't even zoom in on the picture. I think that's Esau in a mask. On the right side. But look at them. They're called protesters. No, they're called rioters and looters. You are now seeing the situation in U.S. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said in a live televised speech Friday, "This is their democracy and human rights. This is their election scandal. These are their values. These values are being mocked by the world. Even their friends are laughing at them." While Iran criticized its government and Tehran has clamped down on its own people's rights of freedom of expression and assembly, its security forces have used lethal force to crush protests, killing hundreds of people and arbitrarily detaining thousands more, according to Amnesty International in London. China and Russia officials asked why U.S. lawmakers have been so quick to support pro-democracy protesters in other parts of the world. While unrest rages in their own streets, you may have remembered the words that some U.S. officials, legislators, and some media used about Hong Kong than China's Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Hugh Chunying at a briefing Thursday. What do they say about the United States now? Police in Hong Kong arrested more than 50 pro-democracy figures Wednesday for allegedly violating the stringent new national security law. Antony Blinken, Biden nominee for Secretary of State, said on Twitter this week that the new administration would stand with the people of Hong Kong and against Beijing crackdown on democracy. So you got them showing that their way works more than America's. And that America shouldn't be able to police the whole world like they did for so long. Cause look at this. America's finished. And get one more scripture. Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. You got countries plotting against America while that whole mess in Capitol Hill just happened. Because they're tired of America, and now that is like a diversion from off their backs so America has to focus on their own citizens at the moment. The whole world looking at America like it's some TV show. America, the best country in the world, that's some nonsense. It's delusional, because that's not true, right? Isaiah 14:12. How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations. How you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. So Esau look, he sees himself as a light bearer, right? To be looked upon as some wise man, And look at him. How thou cut down to the ground, He's been cut down to the ground. What didst weaken the nation, Talking about a man. So-called white man did that. He's been weakening these countries for so long. Venezuela, Africa, North Korea, Russia, China. So Babylon is it's finished. America's finished. You see it through the citizens, through their these Edomite citizens, actually, these Edomites, right? Because this is their kingdom. You can see America's finished through the Edomites. Look how Esau carries himself now, panicking and distress, and biting and going. They're mad and frustrated that they're losing power spiritually. You could they feel something, even though they're not spiritual beings. Most of them are atheists, don't believe in the Most High, but they know there's something. They know something's coming, and it's a power shift to the Most High in Israel. Because Esau, your time is up. You had a short season, and your time's up. The Lord's coming back. So I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all Yakim and Haz and Bawa. Till next time, I say Shalom.